The first time Anna Kikabica and her family stepped off the plane with plans to move to the U.S., she thought her dreams were coming true. It was 2013. Anna was selected out of some 20 million applicants to receive a U.S. green card under an immigration lottery system, a program that the Trump administration suspended last year. They spent 6 months living in the U.S. under permanent legal status. Then, when unforeseen circumstances hit, they had to move back to their native country, Georgia. It took Anna 3 years and more than $18,000 to recover her green card status and to line up her children's documentation. The next time Anna and her kids, ages 11 and 14, stepped off the plane in Chicago, that was in May, they were arrested by ICE agents. According to DHS, they had been out of the country for 229 days. That was about 6 weeks longer than they were permitted to be away. They were transferred to the highly controversial Dilley Immigration Processing Center in South Texas, a place that has been under scrutiny for reports of wormy food, poor access to medical care, inhumane treatment, all according to detainees. The government denies it. They were held at Dilley for 58 days before being sent on a plane back to Georgia and turned down the option to appeal the judge's removal order, effectively gave up her green card fight to get her kids out of immigrant jail, as the Marshall Project reports. Anna Kikabica joins us now, along with a reporter from the Marshall Project who closely followed this story, Lauren Villagran. Anna, thank you so much for being with me. If you would just, for us, describe those moments when you and your children were arrested by ICE agents. What were you thinking? Did you even imagine that was a possibility?
Thank you very much. In May 2026, we arrived in Chicago O'Hare Airport with my 2 children. We believed we were returning to the United States legally because all 3 of us had valid immigration documents that were issued by U.S. immigration, U.S. government, and I had renewed green card. My daughter was lawful permanent resident. She had green card, and my son had SB1 returning resident visa. This was also my 4th trip to the United States within the previous 18 months. And CBP later said in our NTA that we did not have the right documents to enter the United States. But since our previous trip, none of us had been outside of the United States for more than about 7.5 months, so none of us needed any additional document to return. I knew that CBP could ask questions because we were outside of United States for more than 6 months, but
it must have been jarring for you, Anna. It must have been very frightening for you and your children, I imagine.
Yes, it was, yes. I had all documents. I had school documents for my children. I had emails with schools. I had emails with apartment complexes where we planned to live. And I also was filing United States taxes, and I was working through Upwork as U.S. person, yes.
Yeah, sorry, Laura, I didn't mean to interrupt. Anna, I didn't mean to interrupt. I do want to ask Laura about this for a second. Laura, I apologize. I called you Lauren as I was introducing you. The headline read, Lauren, I called you Laura. The headline is, your name is Lauren. Parents are giving up green card fights to get their kids out of immigrant jail. That's the rub here. Under immigration law in the U.S., immigrants should only be detained if they represent a flight risk or pose a danger to the community. But since President Trump took office, more than 66,000 parents and children have been detained. How has the administration effectively circumvented these laws, denying folks like Anna and her children to be released on bond?
Right, Peter. So the Trump administration has adopted a quote unquote mandatory detention policy that is getting fought over in appeals courts across the country. But in the Fifth Circuit in Texas, where Anna and her children were detained at Dilley, that order is essentially in effect. So when immigrants, including families, don't win bond or win release, effectively, they can be detained for the duration of their immigration proceedings, including an appeal, which can take 3 to 6 months.
Laura, walk me through this a little bit. So there are no laws on detaining children. There is precedent, obviously, on this. A decades-old case, it's what's known as the Flores settlement, and it prevents the government from detaining children for longer than 5 days. They can detain them for 20 days as part of what they describe as a migrant surge without providing an individual justification. But just hours after this story, your story was published, a district judge made public an order to appoint an independent monitor to oversee the detainment of kids at Dilley. How has that changed? Has that had any impact on the current situation?
Right. So that is the news that just happened this week. U.S. District Judge Dolly Gee ordered an independent monitor to essentially review conditions at Dilley, the family detention center, and in border detention holding cells for children. She seemed to grow increasingly exasperated during the summer months with the government, who has been detaining some children for more than 50 days, more than 90 days. In a couple of cases, more than 300 days. So this independent monitor, Peter, my understanding is that they will have unfettered access to detention facilities. They don't have to announce their visits. They'll have access to data and hopefully come back to the court with a clearer picture of what's happening in detention.